The last thing you remember is the backblast of the brass cracking scattering your ships like toys. As you black out, you awake in an office room, a two-tier room. In the centre is a large ornate fountain. A large cluster of people sit on the floor in the remains of what appears to be a Christmas party. There's steps leading up at the sides of the room, and you are on the bottom floor, and the upper floor runs all the way around the room. It appears to be some kind of meeting office space, and as you get more accustomed to where you are, no doubt you'll have realised the clue that I gave you on the picture.
Which game is this we're playing?
Right, so this is what it looks like around you. Hi, Dave. Fate. Around you walk a bunch of terrorists carrying machine guns. You sit at the back. Unfortunately, you're not the heroes. You're the four guys at the back. In the upper right corner of your vision, blinks a little LED display, and it currently has the number 0 next to it. The main guy in the suit, who has a beard and a German accent, is shouting for everybody to sit down. And you're all pushed together in the centre of the room, as you can see there, and told to sit still. The display in your head has a little scrolling bar, comes to life beside the little number 0, and it says, you must assist the maverick cop in dealing with the terrorists, but you mustn't be discovered to be helping them. And the first thing you realise is you're in the Nakatomi Tower, and it's been taken over by Hans Gruber and a bunch of terrorists. So give us one quick line about what your doll's like that you're in. You work for the Nakatomi Corporation in an office building. So who are you in, Bracey?
I'll be in the little Japanese-looking guy with the glasses.
Okay. So, and what's he called? You're in this guy here in the centre.
Yep.
Right. Andy, what's your doll?
You can't say, mate. I'm the janitor that just asked us to bring some supplies up for the bar, so I'm just off picture to the right.
Off camera to the right, okay.
Yeah.
Right.
And I'm called Todd or Ted or something because they can never remember me name.
Aye, something with a T though.
Aye.
Right. And Dave, who are you in this time?
I'm the waiter.
You're in the waiter. Right, you've all got this little LED display inside your vision, and the guys with the submachine guns are forcing people to the ground. So they all push you down, sitting on the floor, and Hans, the main guy, gives a speech. There's several of the terrorists going backwards and forwards into the lift shafts and things like that. And they're disappearing off with various items of equipment. You're not sure why. There's a guard that remains. There's two guards that remains that walks around the central group, and Hans takes position in an office off to the side.
Can we, do we recognise each other's dolls, or do we not know yet?
You will be able to recognise each other's dolls. You got like a little heads-up display. When you look round on your thing, it'll sort of ping to let you know which ones are which. So this has kind of been inspired by the Sean Bean Quest kind of game. So it's not not strictly your standard fake game. So you're all sitting down, and the LED display in the corner of your vision comes up, and it says, you must get free of the room without raising any suspicion. What would you like to do?
Does he look like he's stopped giving these speeches, or is he better launch into some other
No, yes. He's given all of his speeches. Several of the guys with the guns have gone off down in the elevator, and he's currently moved into the office at the back. So there's basically 3 guys with submachine guns, like walking around, keeping an eye on you, and making sure that you just don't go anywhere. So, heroes, what we're going to do. You need to get out of the throng and off into the building.
Do our dolls, and hence us, have any recognition of the plans for this room and the exit stuff, or the building in general?
Yeah, you'll have a general knowledge of the building. It's a large multi-story office block, so you will be able to find your way out.
Okay. Are the guys standing or close to all the exits, or are the exits which are unguarded, or they're walking around?
They're kind of walking around, circling the room.
What's the chances of ducking behind the bar when they're not looking? Because there'll be a service entrance out the back of the bar. That's the way I came in.
Yes, there is. There's a service entrance. It will be pretty good. I would imagine. You could probably time it so that you could dive out the back.
Right. Well, that sounds like the best course of action, I think. Because I've left me little cart of janitorial supplies just inside the. Like there's like the little service room behind the bar, and then there's the entrance onto the service stairs. I've left me little cart of supplies just in there in that cubbyhole.
Right.
There might be something that mad cop can use.
Yes, maybe there is. At the moment, the maverick cop doesn't seem to be a factor, but everybody's just being gathered up. Right, so Dave, basically, are you trying to shuffle together with Andy towards the back?
Yep.
Because I think the best thing is if we're going to go, we'll go now before they do a proper head count.
So you've got a few janitorial items on you. Bracy, you may have a couple of small items in your pocket, and Dave, you're the barman, isn't that right? Dave?
Yeah, I must have pressed the wrong button.
All right. But for some reason, we don't have a sidebar, and I don't know why. So I am busy trying to figure that out, but keep going. And maybe I've got to reload the window. Possibly. Yes, I have to reload the window now. Right, so some sort of distraction possibly, so you can duck out. Any ideas?
We need to figure out 1 or 2 of these women who will start screaming hysterically.
What the? Is that a mouse?
Right. So you're going to start screaming, is that a mouse?
No, I'm just thinking silently out loud.
You're thinking silently out loud.
Thinking out loud, but silently, if you know.
Yeah. Right. So come on, give us a plan. What are we actually doing?
Like,
What would James Bond do?
They'd probably all be dead by now if they were James Bond.
All right then. We've got bottles of champagne.
Yeah.
We take the wire cages off. We give them a damn good shaking. Roll them along silently across the floor, and let the bottles pop, and then might that cause a distraction?
It's worth a go. Right, Dave the barman, go on, give us a sneaky roll. Right, so you're whispering to each other. George says, "I've still got hold of one of these bottles of champagne." He tries to roll it across the. And the GM is rolling excellently again. Right, so Dave, you surreptitiously sneak the wire cage off and roll it across the floor.
I give the bottle a damn good shake first.
Right. Yeah. At the moment, like, everybody's still milling about because they've been given the speech and what have you. So the bottle rolls across the floor, bumps into the steps. There's a loud pop and a swoosh as firstly the cork bounces off the window, and then the terrorist guys with the guns all spin round to see what the noise in the racket was.
Time to go.
Everybody in the general car goes like that, makes noises like that, and Andy dives out the window, dives out to the service entrance at the back.
We follow.
Right, make a quickness roll then.
Right now.
Right. Two of the guards seem to have run over to this bottle, but you dive out through the door, but it appears that you weren't quick enough to beat one of the guards. A few seconds, 2 or 3 seconds later, you can hear him coming towards as the door's like just swinging slightly. So it appears that somebody's seen that the door's swinging. They didn't see you dive out through the door, but it looks like somebody's heading over to investigate.
That's all right. I shall pull a mop out of me cart and stick it through the handles of the door so he can't get out.
Get in, you mean?
Well, so that the guard can't get out here with us.
Right. Yeah. So Andy jams a mop through the handle, and then you're all like shh, shh, and you creep off down the corridor. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right. There's a rattling noise as somebody's obviously banging on the door, trying the door, and then he says something in German, and then it goes quiet again. Well, other than the fact that there's a big crowd of people making noise on the other side. Right, you sneak down the corridor. The little display in your top right-hand side of your vision blinks and then changes to a 1. Right, so you creep down the corridor a fair distance away, and then you can actually converse with each other properly. Right. Next up, the little LED in your vision scrolls a log, and it says, "Get Tony the detonators." You vaguely remember that there was a black bag with some detonators in that was in one of the offices that the terrorists had done. It was like dumped on a desk, and you hear one of the guys. He's got an American accent, and he says, "Tony, I think you forgot the detonators. You're supposed to have them with you." And the other guy with the German accent says, it's fine. I forgot to bring them. I'll get them later on. They're not important.
Right. From our knowledge of the building,
Yes.
do we know if there's a way that we can get round to the office where these detonators are?
Well, there's some air ducts. Apparently, the whole building is crisscrossed with air ducts. As evidenced in the movie, there seems to be air ducts everywhere. So there's a lot of ventilation places you could crawl into. Or you could go above the ceiling. Maybe. I need some heroic plans from you. I know it's putting you on the spot a bit.
So we've got to get this bloke Tony to take the detonators.
Yeah, apparently he's forgotten the detonator bag. And for some reason, he needs the bag full of detonators, down. He's currently down in the basement, further down. So you need to swipe the detonators and then somehow get the detonators to him.
Right, so it's all ducks into the office, then sneak into the lift shaft. There should be ladders leading down and up, down to the basement. As long as nobody throws something down the bottom of the lift shaft, we should be okay.
So you got to get the. How are you going to get in the office to get the bag?
I think we might have to use the air ducts.
It's easy. We'll nip through the kitchen. We'll grab something that's like hook shape or claw shape or something. Whip off all our ties together. Make a rope out of it. Drop it down through one of the airlifts. Grab the bag. Whoosh, pop it on.
Right.
Or die horribly. One of the two.
What we'll want is one of them handy things for draining pasta. You know the thing that looks like a hand on a stick?
Yes.
Mm.
Yes, I love this. So you nip off to the nearest kitchen and grab one of those pasta draining claw doofers.
Aye.
Yep.
And then
There's always a ball in the handle we can tie this tie rope through.
Yes. And then who's going to climb along the ceiling? Oh, sorry, you're going through the vent ducts, aren't you?
Whoever's the smallest. Hell, I'll do it.
Andy, or Todd, or Terry, or Thomas, whatever his name is, something starting with a T. He whips up this improvised device, tying it through the hole in the handle, and then Brissy, you make a crawl through the duct And I think that's going to be flashy. Give us a flashy roll. You're not very flashy, but you do manage to get above the room. The ventilation duct comes up high next to the ceiling, and you can see the black canvas bag that was mentioned on the desk. And there's currently 2 guys standing with machine guns. They're not facing you, but they're standing talking to each other in this office.
Right, okay. We're going to need a distraction, aren't we? Can I shuffle back to a point where I can let one of the other lads know this and say we're going to need a distraction?
No, certainly.
Or am I going to be able to get the grate open without them noticing?
That would be
too obvious.
Pretty sneaky for you to do that.
No, I've only got sneaky 2.
You got sneaky 2, but you have got 3 fate points. Just for whatever reason they haven't transferred on this thing, so I'm going to sort that out as we're playing.
Is there an office either side of this office?
I'm sure there is, yes.
Right. I will.
Right, you've crawled back to Andy and Dave so that you can actually discuss the plan. Yes, there's an office to this side.
Okay.
Andy is the most familiar with the ducts because obviously he's the janitor.
Okay. We need something in one of these offices either side so that we cause distraction so the guards might run out and I can quickly nip down or, what the thing and grab this bag up. Is there anything special about these in the offices either side of them, or
they're just
general offices?
Standard office with a 1980s computer, a desk and a swivelly chair on it.
Right. What do you reckon, lads? Shall I just try and shimmy across to the far one? And if there's no guards in there, I'll try and see if there's anything I can make a distraction in there for, or?
Well, if it would help, I could always get some kit out of the cart. I'm sure I must have some toilet rolls in there, and maybe a can of that. You know, that sort of alcohol-y based stuff you use for getting rid of chewing gum off things?
Yes, yeah. Absolutely. That's right. This is the way, you need to think about this. Yeah, there's definitely something like that.
And if we sprayed a bit of that on the toilet roll and then lit it, got into the office next door and just bowled it down the corridor, so it unravels, the only thing we're missing is an Andrex puppy. Then hopefully, as it goes trundling down the corridor, unrolling and sort of sparking and flaming and smoking a bit, they're going to be more interested in that than you reaching down and lifting the bag. I am, of course, open to ideas.
No, I love this plan. It's got just the right amount of crazy, in my opinion. Right, we've got some fate points and character tokens, and we've got a fate point pile.
Shut it.
Right, so are you right? So Bracey shoved these back into the ventilation shaft, and then you're going to make this incendiary device, Andy. Is that correct?
I am.
And you're going to try and sneak through the ventilation shafts the other way.
Aye, to the office next door to the one that we need to lift this bag out of.
Right. Okay. And Dave, do you have any any barman related plans? So you'll probably have a corkscrew on your pocket, you know, like one of them folding corkscrew things, or
Yeah. Well, I'm not sure what to do with it. I'm open to suggestions.
right. Well, I guess you could just stand guard and then throat punch people with it if they get too close. Right. So you both set off into the ducts. They're dark and shiny silver, and they smell pretty bad. So, Andy, you get round to the other side and you construct your thing. I think you should give me a flashy roll as you light this and then hurl it down the corridor or in the office, or.
Yeah, well, what I want to do is I want to open the door just enough to get a toilet roll through, light it, and then just bowl it down the corridor.
Right. Okay. Yeah, that's a flashy roll.
There you go. And I'm hoping the two guards, obviously then shut the door again sharply, but quietly.
Yes.
And I'm hoping the two guards will be distracted enough by this thing coming sort of smoking past them.
Oh, it's a 3. It's good. Okay, so Andy lights it. He clicks the lighter dramatically and it doesn't light. He does it 2 or 3 times before it catches, of course, because, that's the way 80s movies work. As he curses under his breath, just click, 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 click. It catches fire and he slips the door open and rolls it past. And the 2 guards go, "Was ist los?" And they turn and run towards the flaming toilet roll tube. I Brissy, it's your chance. You need to do this quickly.
Okay.
Oh, it's good. It's a 2. So you cast out your pasta drainer net, and it falls on the bag, and you pull it, but you pull it just too fast, and it doesn't catch. So it slips off onto the thing. So you quickly wind it back in, and then you take a second cast, of course, because the first cast never catches in these things. And then it snags the handle, and you slowly drag it off the desk, and then give it a quick yank, and you manage to pull the bag with the detonators up into the ventilation system.
Cool. I make sure I close the little latch thing, before I shuffle off back down the corridor.
Right. So you all meet back up at the other end of the corridor. Dave's standing guard with his corkscrew held as like a crude knuckle duster. And then basically, what's the plan? It's down to the lift shaft. Because at this point, all of the phone lines and the elevators have been disabled.
How many levels do we know we've got to go down, or roughly?
Well, the guy was in the basement. Tony was in the basement.
Do you reckon down one of the fire escapes, or?
Well, we could, but can we guarantee there won't be any terrorists lurking around on fire escapes? That's all I was thinking. I think it's unlikely you're going to find a terrorist dangling on the end of a rope in the middle of a lift shaft.
They usually have ladders on the inside.
Yeah. There's You can force the lift doors open and climb down. It's a long way down. A long way down. Nobody's got fear of heights or anything, have they?
No, we're not that daft.
No.
Right. So you force the lift shaft doors open, and like a looming deep shaft disappears down into the darkness because all of the emergency lights are off on the shaft.
Oh, I think I should definitely get a bonus to one of my aspects, which is considering I've got my life is an 80s action movie aspect.
And it literally is an 80s action movie.
Exactly.
Right. Well, you descend down this lift shaft. You're not entirely sure how far down you need to go, however. So you notice that all of the terrorists are carrying walkie-talkies as well. Okay.
Well, I presume we'll just keep going down till we get to the bottom.
Right. You spend the next 10 minutes or so heading down until you reach near the basement. And you'd overheard him saying that the phone lines were cut, so you had a rough idea where he was. And then you come round and you see a blonde. You hide around the corner. You see the blonde guy wearing glasses, carrying a bag with some tools in, and he's heading up from the main server room that was down in the basement. So now, what is the plan? If only one of you knew hypnosis. What's the plan now then, gentlemen?
I'm not really sure, because it was supposed to be giving getting the detonators to this guy. Obviously, they know who all the members of their group is, so we won't be able to impersonate one of them. So,
All right, elastic band, coin. Shoot the coin where he's not facing, so he turns out, and then when he goes to investigate, we shove the bag out.
Right. I think that would be a flashy approach.
Well, won't be me, like, because I'm shit at that stuff.
Who's very flashy? Who's cinematic?
I've got 2.
I think that's probably about 2 more than I've got. Well, hold on, I'll check. I can never remember. No, I'm not in the least bit flashy.
Okay, Flea, I guess it's you that's up for the flashiness. So you take the coin, you pull it back in the elastic band like a small child. You hold it between thumb and forefinger, and you fire the coin into the darkness.
Okay.
And I get -1. Right, so the guy, Tony, turns around as he hears this coin twang off into the darkness. And then what do? Who's got the bag? Do you ever use sliding the bag?
Yeah, I slide the bag out. We'll see it when he turns.
Make sure it's open. Don't see what's in it.
Yeah.
Right, you slide the bag out. It slides across the floor and lands just behind him in the corridor. And then you all quickly dive for cover as he spins round. So can I give you a sneaky roll, please?
Hopefully. No.
Right, I get a 0. You can spend fate points afterwards if you can give me a justification. Right, so Dave and Bracey, you dive around the corner, but Andy just is lagging behind you.
Can't you spend a fate point to re-roll something?
You can spend a fate point for a reroll, or you can spend a fate point to add +2 with justification. But if you just want to do the reroll, yeah, you can just spend a fate point.
Right, hang on a minute. Where's that? Right, hold on. Where am I? What? Right, wait a bit. Where's the fate point bag gone?
It's just that pile underneath the Nakatomi tower.
Ah, right. Yes, no problem. I will say it.
Can you actually move those fate points? Yes, you can. Hurrah!
Yeah. Right, let's get out the reroll. I can't believe that. That's better.
Right.
What do you mean I was behind them?
Right, so you were at the back, Andy, and your foot was just too slow getting back. But just as he's spinning round, he catches his foot on the bag of detonators, and his head is like in slow motion spinning exactly where your foot was. But then he catches his foot and looks down and sees the open bag of detonators. Hans is like, Tony, they're telling me you don't have the detonators. Are you kidding me at this point? And he goes, no, Hans, I have them. I've got them with me. And then picks them up. Then sort of like looks backwards and forwards as if to say, where have they come from? But then doesn't look a gift horse in the mouth. And the little counter in your corner goes up to 2. Right. Tony, the guy, shoulders the bag with the detonators in and heads off up into the building. What you plan on doing now? Do you have anything planned, or are you just going to hide out somewhere?
Does our radars not say anything else?
Not at the moment. You seem to have a couple of minutes to get it sorted out.
Well, I reckon we've got two choices. We can either hide out where we are, or we can try and get out one of the service entrances and go and call the police.
I checked my pocket for Nokia 3310, Rich.
You don't have a Nokia 3310. Right. Okay. After a couple of minutes, the little readout in the corner of your vision, which now says 2, then switches back to the scroll thing, and then it says, convince Ellis to make a deal with the terrorists. Your doll remembers Ellis is a short, smarmy guy who is up in the group with the other guys. And he was sitting at the back near the fountain next to Holly, who has the big 80s hair.
Oh, that means we're going to have to climb all the way back up the lift shaft.
Right, so you climb back up the lift shaft. As you do, you hear a bunch of gunfire, and that's from lower down. And then your little readout says, McLean has the detonators, as it scrolls across your vision. You climb all the way back to the top again, up through the service elevator. You haven't seen any other terrorists, and you managed to get back to where you managed to block the door with a mop.
Okay. Can we sneak a peek between the doors if there's a crack to see if we can see where the guards are?
Right. Okay. You you carefully pull the mop from where Andy had jammed it in between the door handle, and you just open the door the tiniest fraction. There seems to be a lot of consternation. The people that are in the centre look cowed, but the guys holding the guns are running about, and the guy Hans, who's the leader in the office, is seems to be shouting dejectedly at a guy with long blonde hair holding a Stir August machine gun, and they seem to be having some kind of argument in the background. So they're quite distracted. You scan the crowd and you see this Ellis guy with the beard in the black suit cowering next to the fountain.
Right. What do you reckon, lads, could be the best roll to get him to convince him? Could be a clever roll or flashy?
No, I've got an even better idea than that. Two of us sneak up near him, and we'll start talking between us so Buddy can hear us and say, "I've got a great idea to save our lives. We could do a deal with him. And I'm really good at doing deals. And he's probably one of these sneaky bastards who takes other people's,
Yes, because obviously, Dave, the person who manages to do this deal will be a big hero.
And even more than that, won't get killed by the terrorists.
Yeah, he absolutely will not get killed by the terrorists at all. What's the cunning plan then? You've seen that you can. There's quite a commotion going on, so you can probably, with a sneak roll, sneak back in. Are all three of you going back in?
It only needs two. Yeah, basically they have a conversation near him, talking to each other about how good an idea that they've got an idea of making a deal with them, and he's probably one of these smarmy cheeky buggers who likes to steal other people's ideas.
Yeah, because if they manage to pull this off, you'll probably be VP within at least 2 years, won't they, Dave?
Alright, so needs the two sneakiest people, and I've only got a sneak.
You want to go sneak of what?
I've got a sneak of 1.
Okay. Who's feeling sneaky?
I've got a sneak of 2.
Andy?
I've got a sneak of 2, so I'll go if that's what people want.
Right, so you try to choose an opportune moment. Like I said, everybody seems agitated, and at least one of the terrorists seems to have been killed by the maverick cop. So you slip the service door open and you slide in at the back. So let's have a sneaky roll. And I'll roll and see if the guard notices you.
What, mate? I was there the whole time.
Oh, and I get a 0. So the guards are so distracted they don't notice as you slip in round the back of the fountain and then work your way slowly through the crowd. They're all still sitting on the floor.
Do you not mind as we just fling the door open and walk in whistling?
Yes. And the guards are completely oblivious to you.
We walk in like we own the place, which we do.
Right, you work your way around to the other side next to who your doll recognises is Ellis. He's a small, weedy looking guy with a black beard and a black suit, and he's sitting. His back's against the fountain, and he's literally shivering in fear. He's an absolute tool. He's as much use as a chocolate fire guard. So, give us your pitch then, gentlemen. You sidle up next to him, and he's literally shivering in fear.
Yeah, me and Andy will just have a conversation between ourselves.
Yes, go on then.
No, so it doesn't alert the guards, but so that he can hear it, like Davey said, where
Yeah.
oh,
No, you don't get over that easy. Come on, let's have this conversation then, Mr. Role Player.
You know what we need here, don't you?
What?
We need some brave fella to try and make a deal with the terrorists. Because that's the only way we're going to get out of here in one piece.
Oh, yeah, but I mean, what do you think they're for? Do you think they know there's like millions in the vault upstairs or what?
Well, I wouldn't be surprised. They seem pretty well organised.
Yeah, I suppose so. And if
you never know. The bloke who makes the deal might even be able to get into the vault himself while nobody's looking. And then he could always blame it on the terrorists. And of course, the bloke who's really, really helpful to the terrorists is going to be the one who's definitely walking out of here in one piece.
This LSE seems to perk up a little bit. Andy, give me a clever roll.
Not a problem. Give me a second. A clever roll. I do.
Nice.
Right. So Ellis is obviously paying attention. And you can see his beady little eyes. You can see things ticking over. And he's like, but what would you say to them? I mean, obviously, I'd be right behind you and everything.
I don't know. I mean, we're negotiating multi-million-dollar deals every day in this place. It should be easy to, deal with these scumbags.
He says,
it's going to take somebody way above my pay grade. I mean, I'm only the janitor. What would I know? I mean, I'm no executive. I'm not good at making multi-million-dollar.
Oh yeah, you're Tony, aren't you? Or Theo, or something like that. Start with a T anyway.
Aye, exactly.
Yeah, and I mean, even if you just go pear-shaped, with their plans, if they're right, they're here for the vault. The guy who stands up and trying to negotiate to get everybody out safely, they'll be VP within a couple of months. And the company cares for the people who work for them.
And I mean, let's face it, he's going to be the guy who's on the news, getting the commendations from the police and from the mayor.
And the women.
I mean, it's got to be worth a pay rise, if nothing else.
And this, he says, you know what? You're right. It needs somebody like me. And he straightens his tie and he stands up and he pulls his shirt collar and he's like, excuse me. I think you need to take me in to see the boss there. And the guy comes over the machine and goes, sit down. And he goes, no, I can tell you exactly what's happening. The woman with the big perm looks round anxiously at him. And the guard grabs him and pulls him from the crowd of people and pushes him towards the office. And he strides in and the door closes behind him.
While this is going on, are the other guards watching the guard in Ellis?
Yes, it's a little bit of a distraction.
Right, then we'll use that opportunity, me and Andy, and oomph back through the door.
Right, okay, give us a sneaky roll. Oh. Why am I rolling sneaky? I'm opposing your sneaky. And as usual...
You should have stuck with a sneaky.
I should have stuck with a sneaky. As usual. As usual, you managed to slip round past the fountain and Dave holds the door open and you literally nip through the door.
Have you noticed how this totally unbiased electronic interface hates JMs?
Yeah, completely. Absolutely hates it.
He wants to go to the other one because he knows the other one likes DMs.
Right, so you get back through the door. Are you mopping the door again?
Oh, aye.
Yeah. So you mop the door shut and take a couple of minutes breather because obviously the adrenaline's pumping at these guys running around with machine guns.
I can't believe he fell for that.
Oh, when we go through the door, I have a quick look around. Is there anything that, weapon-wise, like a big knife for cutting lemons and stuff like that?
A big knife for cutting lemons. You might have a little knife for cutting lemons. You're like, look, at Nakatomi Tower, we use a Bowie knife to cut lemons.
You know what I mean.
Well, I mean, you can always raid my cart for supplies. I've got a couple of them trigger sprays of bleach.
Yeah, one on each hip, like the gunslinger.
Correct.
Yeah, so Andy's cart's out the back. So any janitorial supplies you would like to cannibalise, I mean, with his permission, of course.
By my guest, I mean, there's bound to be a large roll of bale and twine, because that always comes in handy. And some gaffer tape, because you get a +1 for gaffer tape.
It's true, you do get a +1 for gaffer tape.
I have my gold-plated fountain pen in my pocket. I'm going to use it to stab someone in a bar.
Right, okay.
Of course, there's no Cornish pasties lying around.
Right, so around 15 minutes or so passes, and do you decide to do anything else, or are you just hanging on to wait to see what happens?
Did you say have we? Oh, I've not to get to my.
What?
It's just something he said earlier. I misheard because I know he said we've seen the movie, but I was wondering if we're in this timeline, but it's still like a movie, so we know what would roughly happen next.
Yeah, you kind of do actually. You don't know why, but you do. It does actually kind of make a sense. Like all my stuff, it will all make sense in the end. I promise.
Well, I think I hear the upper floors have been remodeled. We could hide out there.
Right. Then the next thing that pops up after a while, it's about 20 minutes later. The next LED you get is you after speaking to Ellis, you get another little +1 pops up in the corner, and the next thing that pops up is retrieve a gun. So, retrieve a gun from downstairs. It says.
If this makes back down the lift shaft again, I'm cancelling my gym membership.
Right. As you head back down to the lift shaft, there's a massive. There's an explosion. There's an explosive sound from outside, and then there's a massive explosion that rocks the foundations of the building. The whole building sways, and a gout of fire shoots up the lift shaft in front of you.
Okay. Previous to this, we didn't see anything drop past us in the lift shaft, did we?
Yeah, something shot past and you went, oh, what was that? It looked like a computer tied to a chair.
Oh, crap. Right. Where's the newest set of doors or bloody air vent thing?
Well, once the smoke and the fire and the explosion disappears, the most of the lift shaft is still intact. It's only at the bottom floor where it seems to have all blown out.
Oh, that's not too bad. Can we still climb down there?
Yes, you can still climb down. Presumably, you can climb down as far as you need to get to. The little LED display says, correction, retrieve a pistol.
Okay, we'll carry on down the lift shaft.
Right,
Till we reach the explosion area.
you carry on down the lift shaft, but it's you can't get all the way at the bottom because as it gets close to the explosion, it's damaged the ladder and some of the doors. So you pop out onto what appears to be a maintenance level. There's lots of pipes running along the ceiling and along the floor. The place is steamy, as if there's a lot of leaky pipes. But I mean, it's a pretty high tech building. It shouldn't be having this much steam. There's a bit of graffiti on some of the concrete, and you hear two voices talking. And one guy saying, in an American accent, he's saying, "No, you're one of them. Please don't kill me." And then you hear another guy going, "I'm not one of them." So what do you do?
Is it below us or?
No, it's on the same level. It's ahead.
On the same level.
It's ahead, and it appears to be in amongst all of this machinery and like pipes and things like that. That's on this maintenance level. And then the guys seem to have a little conversation, and he says, "No, we need to get the roof. It's just down this way." And he says, the other guy whose voice you hadn't heard before, with an American accent, he says, "No, go this way. Trust me, they've got them all over the place." What would you like to do?
Right, from our knowledge, can we work out if one guy is trying to get to the roof? Are they going to have to go past us, or is it perpendicular or the opposite direction?
They're probably not going to go past you. I'm testing your movie knowledge now. Do you remember what happens at this point?
Yes, I'm pretty sure it's Gruber and McLean, and McLean gives Gruber the gun, but there's no ammo in it.
Right.
And then McLean walks off. Gruber goes to shoot him in the back. They have McLean calls him a dickhead or something. And then the blonde Aryan kid turns up and starts firing at McLean and chases him off. But I'm not sure if one of them drops a gun or not. I think he does. Could be totally wrong, but...
Right, well, can you please give me clever rolls?
Oh, that's not good for me.
Or your character. Right, George and Cathcart, you notice further along where there's like a piece of paneling there's two dividers. There's a handgun that's been placed down there on the corner. The voices are coming from round the corner to the right. But it sounds like you're right on top of them.
Well, why don't we tiptoe over and just lift the gun?
Then empty it and put it...
You're going to watch a film after this and you're going to go, "Damn it, man!"
I wouldn't care. I watched Die Hard 2 the other night if you'd put that one on.
No, that's next year. Right, so go on then, give us a sneaky roll. You can literally hear them speaking round the corner.
Yes, because McLean puts his gun on the thing, and when he steps up to look at the to wonder why they're down here, I think something like that, isn't it? Because he's looking at all the explosives and stuff.
Yes.
Was that later on?
Yes, he's looking at the explosives. It's Gruber has put his gun down to look at the explosives, and then tries to get back to it, but can't because it's apparently not there now. Right, as Stevens sneaks over, Davy sneaks over, and like literally, when you're sidling along a wall, sidles over, and there's a gun that's been like propped in the corner of this panel. So George grabs hold of it. Andy's just behind him.
Yes. Now I think if remembering the timeline is right, we can take this one because McLean gives him one of his guns that he's got, but it's the empty one.
Yeah. So so George lifts the gun. They've had a conversation, and it's thrown him a packet of cigarettes, and then he says, you hear him in a German accent say, "Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker," and he pulls, and you hear click, 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 at that point, and McLean's like, giving it like, "You think I'd be stupid enough to give you a loaded gun?" Just then there's a ding, and the elevator opens, and you hear McLean swear and run off down the corridor, and then a whole load of automatic fire comes down the corridor after him. So, the battle moves away from you, into a series of computer offices further down the corridor. There is... who's holding the gun?
I am.
Right. You hear a whole lot of automatic fire, and then it moves basically away from you, but parallel to the side.
Has our radio's updated yet?
It says, take down the terrorist.
What, we're going to have which terrorist, or all of them, or what?
It just says take down a terrorist. Right, you hear him shout, "Shoot the glass, you fool!" And then you hear butter, 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 and then a whole load of breaking glass going on. What would you like to do now?
Well, I suppose we're going to have to shoot that terrorist then.
Right.
It can't be Gruber or the blonde guy because he's the main buddy. It's going to be some inconsequential arse that nobody misses, or that will affect the timeline. Or I'm watching too much Doctor Who.
It don't breaks the timeline, yeah. Right. So who's doing what then? Because you're all like pressed up against this this block where Dave's got the gun at the front.
Well, obviously the lifts are working again.
Well, that lift is because obviously the terrorists have control of which lifts are turned on and which ones. That one's working.
Well, shall we get in the lift? We'll climb on top of the lift rather than bloody, hand over hand up the bloody ladder up the side of it, and then we'll go up a few levels, and then maybe climb up one to get out, and then find somebody to pop.
Sounds good to me.
Or we could throw a fate point in, and the tourist steps in the lift.
What with the target painted on his forehead?
No,
the terrorist steps in the lift and our hold Flay's ankles, and he just leans down, grabs him by the neck and hauls him back through the top of the lift. When the second one steps in, he goes, "Where's he gone?"
Right, so you come round the other side, you still see this firefight go on. There's Hans and there is Carl on the floor shooting away at the glass and it's shattering everywhere. There's a third terrorist guy. McLean rolls out from behind the desk, takes a shot at him, but misses.
Davey, pop this guy. How far away is he from me, Richard? Is he facing the opposite direction?
He's facing the opposite direction because they're trying to kill McLean. So
How far away?
he's about 20 foot away.
That's a long way. What's your careful, Dave?
I could do my what do you call it? The quick draw shoot.
His quick draw shoot means the first attack he gets in a combat, he gets a +2 on. Because he's got quick draw.
Okay, that'll do. If you want to, mate.
So basically, McLean rolls out, goes to shoot this guy this missed. This other guy looks like he's got McLean dead to rights with his machine gun.
Quick, Dave, pop him.
Bang.
Right, go on then. Wow. Okay. That's got a base difficulty of 1 because the guy is unaware of you. So, Dave, you shoot him to 3 or 4 times. There's a big spray of blood, but nobody notices because of all the bullets and the glass that's flying about. The guy expires messily on the floor, and then you turn and run into the open elevator. Is that right?
Yeah, can do.
I thought that was the plan, was to hide in the elevator afterwards. Your little display updates, and it's now up to 4.
I wonder if this is the number of terrorists that have been killed.
It's something.
Well, if we're in the lift, as soon as the lift door's shut, we should get through the access hatch so we're sitting on top of the lift.
Yeah. Are we going to go up? So I'm trying to remember what happened next. What happens next? I know he drags himself in the bathroom because he's cut his foot open. And he rings Al, the copper. Or radios the copper.
Did the police get there and try to storm the building and get shot?
No, I think that was what the explosion was earlier on. Because they were firing out through the window with the anti-tank missiles. And he dropped the detonators on the chair to try and kill the guys with the anti-tank missiles.
Right. So, are you just going to cower on top of the lift and wait and see what happens?
How about if we hide out in the carpool thing down in the
Because I guarantee you, when we get the carpool, they'll go, you need to get to level 59. And we'll be like, guaranteed.
Right. So you're whispering this, and then you, on the top, the elevator doors close. You can hear Hans and Carl talking in German accents. And then there's and the elevator starts to go up to the top.
Right.
And then you hear him say, right, Carl, get all of the hostages up to the roof. So the elevator stops and they get out, and you're like, obviously you've moved up the building, you're not sure where, so
it's probably going to be the same level we started on. Shall we just climb up one level and get out, or wait?
Well, we might as well, because at least then we'll be above them.
Right, have we got any updates on the hood yet?
Not for about 20 minutes or so. So you climb to somewhere safe on the next level up, and then are you just hiding in a cupboard, or are you hiding in a corridor, or looking out the windows, or?
Well, if I'm going to
hiding in a cupboard, them janitorial cupboards are very well appointed. I'll have you know.
Andy's got a secret cupboard. He opens it. It's got a little portable TV in and
And a coffee maker.
a coffee maker and stuff.
Right, if I remember rightly, they're going to turn the bloody prisoners up one of the stairs. So if we can work out which set of stairs they're going to take them up to the roof, if we go close by that, and then we'll see if anything gets on the hood.
And what we could always do is we could always get one of these big tubs of floor wax that's in this cupboard and tip it down the stairs. We know they're going to try and come up, just to make life a wee bit more difficult for them.
Yeah, this will create the deleted scene that was never seen on the DVD cut.
Where they all fall over carry-on style.
Yeah.
Yep, that's the one.
Whoop. Right. So you head towards the roof. The hood updates as you get closer, and it says, "Free the hostages. Free the hostages." Your dolls know where the roof exit is. And as you get close, you see that the door is locked, and there are two submachine gun wielding terrorists on this side of the door. You hear a lot of screaming and people banging on the door, trying to get out.
Right.
How wide is this corridor?
But you don't remember seeing these two in the movie, so they're probably okay for you to off.
Sorry.
The corridor is about 6 feet wide.
The corridor leading to the door where these two blokes are stood.
It's normal 6 foot wide corridor-ish length.
Right,
width, sorry.
Because I was thinking I could whip out me mop
Right.
and just sort of wander across the end of the corridor as though I'm brushing the floor while whistling. Because we're not be expecting that.
And
Well,
then they'll come to see what's going on, and then we pop from
and
there.
you two can sort them out.
Well, to be honest, I wasn't expecting it, so...
Well, I hand the gun to Flake because he got that nice trick shot of being able to shoot two people at the same.
Yes, he's got his impossible shot. Right, you hand the gun to him. and he just gets his mop and starts whistling. You walk out into the corridor. The corridor actually comes to the bottom of some steps. The steps lead up to the roof exit. So it comes sort of straight to the steps, but then goes round by the side of the steps, and there's like a bit of steps you can hide underneath behind. And these two guys see you. He shouts, "Halt!" and points his submachine gun at you. And they start walking down the steps towards you.
Well, it should be obvious to them I've got a Walkman on, so I obviously can't hear what they're saying. So you'll just keep.
You just keep casually mopping. Right, the storm over to you, and one of them grabs you by the arm, and so that you'll look up at him. And he says something. "Was ist los?" Grabs you roughly.
I'll just hold a finger up, and I shall switch the Walkman off. Take the headphones off my ears and go, "What?"
This other guy looks at his companion. He's like, and he looks really angry, as if to say, "Don't you realise I'm the one that's holding the machine gun?" And he sort of prods you with it.
I pull a cloth off my belt and polish the end of the barrel with it.
Right, okay.
And I just look up at him and smile while thinking, "Anytime, lads, anytime."
Right, okay.
I tried not to burst out laughing.
And he begins to polish the gentleman's barrel. Right, so you're up, Bracey. So what we're going to do here?
I'm going to try and get can I get a possible shot using the stunt where I'll be able to get both of these guys with one bullet through the back of the head.
Both of them through the back of the head. Is it going to rebound off something else like?
Well, no, I just want an angle where they're standing in front of each other. So if I put it through the back of the head through one, it's going to go straight through the head of the other guy without hitting Andy.
Right, well, the angle's pretty bad. So what you'd have to do is sprint and then dive along the floor that Andy's just polished and slide along the floor, right, to get in just the right position to fire and hit both of them.
Because that's just like in an 80s action movie, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
And that'll be easy because this floor's nice and slippy now.
Yeah, because Andy's been polishing it.
Right, then I pop my aspect.
Right, okay, go ahead. Give us a roll. What is this, a careful roll or is it...
Oh, yes. Ooh, I'll put a fate point on that one.
Right, so you get your aspect as well, which is another +2.
Oh, yeah.
And these are just, they're not expecting it, so it's a forceful, which is just them taking the damage. Right, so you have to beat a 1. So you get +2 for that, and now you spend a fate point for your 80s action movie, so you get another +2.
Yeah.
So that's a +6. That's 5 shifts of damage. They've got they can take 2 hits each. So yes, you succeed. You slide along the floor. They see you at the last second, look confused, and you fire your gun. It goes straight through the head of one and into the head of the other one, and they both simultaneously just like fall dead at Andy's feet.
Sorry it took so long, old boy.
Don't give it another thought.
Aye, the bleeding all over your floors.
It's like, sorry about the mess.
Right, so you notice the fire door's got a big padlock that shouldn't normally be there, but they've padlocked the door shut. And there's also obviously 2 bodies and 2 submachine guns lying on the floor.
I'll roll
the
I'll roll the gun back to Davey. I'll pick up one of the machine guns and I'll search the body for the key for the padlock.
Right, you find the key to the padlock, and each of them's got a walkie-talkie as well.
I'll take one of them.
And they have matching wristwatches.
I'll take a wristwatch as well.
Like really expensive wristwatches.
Well, it would be rude not to, wouldn't it?
Right, so you loot them, and where do you hide the bodies?
Just out of curiosity, they're not carrying wallets other than we can make it look like a mugging gone wrong.
They are carrying wallets, yes. So Andy just like casually
Not anymore, they're not.
empties his wallets.
We'll shove them under the stairs.
Right, you shove the bodies under the stairs, and Bressy, you find the thingy for the padlock. On the other side of the door, you hear you screaming, and then you hear high caliber gunfire.
I'll go open the door as fast as I can.
Right, you open the door, and then you jump over the railing out the way as the door bursts open, and there's a stream of people comes pouring down the stairs. You, Dave, and Andy duck under the stairs, so you're out of shot for the camera as those people run past. And then it takes a couple of minutes, and then there's a huge explosion comes from above you. There's a big flash of light through the door. The people get to safety though, and basically there's a big explosion as the roof goes up. You look round, you see through the window behind you, there's a helicopter on fire just falling out of the sky.
Right. I noticed we never got credited on the end titles of this.
I did. And just as you're watching, you just see McLean come diving past the window with a fire hose tied to him, and he just disappears past the level of the window.
That's gonna hurt.
Do you think we need to go down a couple of levels?
I'm probably gonna have a window to clean now and all, aren't I?
Yeah, you're gonna have to pick. You've got a load of broken glass to pick up. Right, so you head back out of the way. That the hostages all go streaming. It's not clear where they go because most of the elevators were turned off. But you assume they just disappear like cockroaches into the building because nobody's sure how they appear back at the bottom floor again. But they do. You head down 2 levels, and then you find like shards of broken glass all over the floor next to one of the windows. And it's almost as if somebody has swung in through the window after shooting bullet holes into it.
I'll put up some of that yellow and black stripy tape so nobody just like walks out and open window.
Love it. So Andy's like, just goes, bear with, and it's just like putting danger.
Oh, when I killed it, when I off these 2 tourists, did the counter go up on my hood?
It did, yes. So you're on 5 now.
I don't know what I'm next. Is it the end? Is it the end game? Or is there a bit before it?
Right. Again, you get a few minutes to catch your breath before your HUD updates.
I'll listen on the radio, see if anything's coming through.
Yes, you hear somebody saying, go and get the ambulance. And then you hear somebody else saying that they're in the vault. And finally, your HUD updates, and it says you have to save Carl.
What the bloody hell's Carl?
He's the guy we gave the detonators to, wasn't it?
Carl is the one with the long blonde hair with the stir.
Oh, all right. If I remember right, he should be hanging from a stairwell with a bloody metal chain wrapped around his neck about now.
Right. So you go scotting down the stairs, like several circular stairs. You get quite a few floors down, and then, sure enough, you find Carl hanging by a chain, with his neck broken, like hanging. He's a good 20 feet up in the air.
Right, can we release the chain anywhere?
It doesn't look like it from what I remember. He sort of slung the chain along a bit like the way you do with blinds.
All right, we look around. Is there anywhere we can get to him or get him across to a level where we can reach him or what?
He's about 25 foot up in the air. I don't know. I'm waiting for you to come up with a plan. I just looked at the film and went, how are they going to get up there? I've got absolutely no idea.
Aye, but didn't he? It wasn't one of those
It was like a chain lifting thing, but on a runner. But he ran along, and then through the chain and collar, and he slid along to the end of the chain.
Well, there must be a way to get it back, whether it's through an automatic, one of those, up-down thingies, or it'll have a manual. I
think it was a manual pulley chain. Like I said, it seemed to be kind of like a giant set of blinds on chains.
All right, Carl, can I see anything dangling that I can pull on back? Is there any little chain hanging down for a retrieval chain or what?
Hang on. We should still have our bag lifting pasta draining hoojar thing.
Yes.
If you use this roll of what's it called? String stuff. Sorry, the word's just gone completely. Packing, like that packing string stuff. Tie it round that and try and loop that round the chain, and then pull it in that way. Or did that not make any sense?
No, that made sense. So who's going to try this? So you tie up the infamous pasta thing. Everybody should always carry one of these things from now on.
I could do a careful aim, but a careful 3.
Yes, we'll have to carry one of these pasta things at all times because forks are just so last year.
Right. So Bracey takes careful aim with a pasta strainer.
I take careful aim. I do the old push the glasses at the bridge of my nose.
Yeah.
Stick my tongue out, aim. Hopefully I might get a +1 and carefully go for the chin.
Right, okay. Oh, it's good. Right, he hurls the pasta strainer, and what are you trying to wrap it around?
Anything that I can get to pull him along to the level where it can reach him. Him or the chain above him, whatever's easiest.
Right. Okay. So it catches in the chain, the long dangly bit, and you manage to drag it along just far enough so you can grab hold of the chain and pull his body to the end. And as much as I wanted to make you wear a blonde wig and have to pretend to be Carl at the end.
No, because he gets shot.
Exactly. Right. So you manage to pull him along far enough so you can unhook him and drop him down onto the stairs. But he's not breathing. He for some reason still has hold of his machine gun, but he's not breathing.
Oh, I'm going to sort that out. Don't you worry. Bastard's trick incoming.
Right. So
You, David, take CPR. I'm going to strip his weapon down, pull the firing pin out, put it back together again. So even if he really stands up at the end and goes to shoot McLean, if the timeline changes, he still go click and it'll go. Crap.
right. So okay, who's doing the CPR, Davey?
Yeah, I'll do the same.
I reckon that's going to be clever.
Bend the fate point.
Right, and what you're spending this... Oh, wow.
Oh, nice one, David.
Oh,
Right.
Dead, call me Jesus because he's back to life.
Yes, he was literally dead, but Dave gives him the kiss of life and pounds on his chest, and Carl's eyes begin to flutter back into consciousness. His neck's at a funny angle, but he seems to be waking up. Right, Bracey, can you make us a quick roll, please, as you quickly try to strip the rifle down and whip the firing pin out? Yeah, so Bracey, in the background with his back to him, so no hands, strips his stare down and pulls the firing pin and then puts it back together. And then Carl is very sort of disoriented, and he's like, "What happened?"
Someone do a really crap German accent, then we'll run off.
So go on. I want to hear this crap German accent. Come on.
Well, I don't know. It's going to be somebody with a.
No. Who's going to do it? Come on. Just somebody give me a crap German accent with an excuse on. What is happening?
Yeah, knock me.
Gruber,
It just went
ambulance
off.
now! So I shout in a German accent, Gruber, ambulance now! Much snap!
Madonna with the big boobies.
Right, Bracey, you're holding his gun.
I'll just drop it down beside him, and then we'll run off up the stairs.
And you drop the gun. And you run up the stairs and hide round the corner, round the corner of the spiral stair. He's obviously confused as he's been dead for quite some time, and David brought him back to life. And he picks his gun up and just goes, "McLean!" And then he gets up and staggers off down the stairs. Right. So now what do you do? Do you wait, or do you follow him down, or?
He's going. I don't know. Because I thought he was brought out in a body bag.
Yeah, he was in the original movie. This is the director's cut now. Yeah, in a body bag while still holding his machine gun. Like what?
Right, I think we're up to the finale, so I think we'll head up to where the main level was, because I think it's the McLean Gruber shooter now.
Well, that actually happened in the basement. So basically, it did, yeah, because they went down into the vault. Oh no, the vault was on the 30th floor. So they went up to the vault.
Because he had quite a big vault.
Yes, it was the 30th floor. So basically, you're not getting updated. You do get another point on your score, bringing you up to 6, whatever that number is. You run up to the 30th floor just in time. You sneak around the corner just in time to see McLean with a gun gaffer taped to his back for the +1. And Hans Gruber's there, and there's Eddie, who is the American one. So McLean, he has a bit of a dialogue with Gruber, and then he pulls his gun and he goes to shoot Eddie, but it looks like he's just missed. He aims to shoot him in the head and just misses. Who's got guns?
Me.
All of us.
All of us.
They got 2 submachine guns, and I've got a pistol.
Right, because McLean normally would shoot Eddie and kill him, but it looks like he's just missed. But Dave, if you do a quick draw, you can do a quick draw, and then you can plug him between the ears.
Yeah, I'll spend it.
Right, so that's a 3. Right, so that's enough. So Dave sees McLean go to shoot and instantly whips his gun out. McLean actually misses, but Dave fires so quickly that the bullet goes straight between Eddie's eyes, and his corpse falls to the ground without anybody noticing. And then you see the final fight on the 30th floor as Hans Gruber goes out of the window, grabs onto the expensive wristwatch, and then he just the watch comes free and he plummets to his death.
Oh, one interruption, Rich.
Yeah.
Just before he plummets to death, I'll open the window, and as he falls back, I'll throw English to German translation book to him. Learn to speak.
Right, Hans Gruber is plummeted to the ground, and like as he's going past this window opens, Dave sticks his head out the window. Watches him fall past. Learn to speak English.
Now I'll throw an English translation dictionary too.
And I say past Dave, your brother's next.
Right, so he disappears down, and as that happens, you get that strange feeling that means that you're going to do a jump. As you're jumping out, you just get a vision downstairs of Carl pulls his stare out, goes to shoot McLean. It goes click. Carl looks confused as if that wasn't supposed to happen, and then the copper shoots Carl dead again, and then you disappear. You reappear in 00 in a coffin. You slide the glass and metal coffins back, and as it do, you hear the sounds of partying and the coffin room is strung with tinsel, and a large Christmas tree hangs in the corner. The room is filled with partying people holding drinks, and around the walls the monitors are lit up showing scenes of different realities. In one, a team is attempting to reunite a lost elf with his father. In another, a team is attempting to prove an old man in a suit is the real Santa Claus. And in a third, a Valkyrie team is defending a suburban house in which it appears there is only a small child. On one wall, there's a large chalkboard filled with odds, and someone is taking bets. Rose Wild, with a Christmas party hat on, is holding a large paper cup filled with alcohol, standing next to Tiberian. They're both laughing, and she approaches the party. Do you remember Tiberius? He was the guy from the original Apple Lane one.
Vaguely.
She says, welcome back to the Christmas party. Everybody gets a day off at Christmas, and offers you a large cup of alcohol.
I down it in one.
She says, well, Tiberius's simulation hack for Apple Inn was such a great success, we decided to set it up as the entertainment for the Christmas party. So we set up everybody in the virtual entertainments for the different movies, and we're taking bets on who will get the most points. And she says, and you got 6, which currently puts you tied with the team who is defending the house of the small child from the 2 robbers. So if somebody would like to roll me a fate dice with a bonus of 6, and I will roll for the team that are in Home Alone to see whether you win or not. Because you're currently tied. Oh, so they only got a 4.
Who wants to do it?
Oh, what a bit.
Go on,
Who's
Andy.
feeling lucky?
You can always throw 2 fate points into it, Andy.
You can throw a fair point for a reroll. No, so you're neck and neck with the team in Home Alone, but unfortunately, at the last minute, one of the wet bandits actually manages to grab Kevin and drags him out of the house, and everybody in the room goes, "Oh!" like that. And as their counter goes down -2, your team's declared the winner. It's like, yes. So everybody hands you more drinks, the proper party hat on your thing, and Tiberius, who was your arch enemy, but Rose says he's such a fantastic hacker that he actually seems to have found his place, and he set this up for the Christmas party. Tiberius comes over where he was once your enemy and you had a water polo game against him. He offers you a salute. He's still got the blonde buzz cut. But he offers you a salute and cracks a smile and says, "Merry Christmas."
Merry Christmas.
And you have won the Christmas Die Hard tournament.
Hey, that was hilarious.